Good morning and welcome to the May Miracles Masterclass. My name is Dan McCormick. If we haven't met, it is awesome to welcome you here today. This was just such an incredible idea and inspiration to literally think, what could we do to bring the world together and bring everybody's thoughts to a higher level? And I want to quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, "The mind once stretched by a new idea never returns to its original dimension." And I know Oliver Wendell Holmes said that as well. And I know that when you see what I'm about to show you, that you're going to feel that. Oliver Wendell Holmes' quote was, "Man's mind once stretched by new experience never regains its original dimension." The reason I have such confidence is we're going to have a live video to play. We're going to raise the floor like we've never raised the floor before. When you think about awakening who I am, when you're thinking about the I am affirmations, I just know that this is going to mean a lot to you, your journey, no matter what kind of company, business, products you sell, relationships you have. We are going to have an incredible few minutes. And then I have a couple of live demonstrations to show you. We'll get some comments from whoever feels inspired in the audience by the affirmation video. If you have been doing the affirmation video each and every day, you already know how incredibly electrifying it is. It's great to see so many familiar faces, see faces that I haven't met before. My name is Dan McCormick, and this journey started for me about 6 months ago when I needed that affirmation video to make me fully appreciate everything about the book, to make me and allow me to recognize the power of I am, remembering that the words that follow I am are the words that follow you. I'm at a higher level of awareness today than I've ever been in my life about every thought that goes into my mind, every thought that goes in any relationships I have, dialogues that we have. The higher the level of awareness you are of the value of those words are going to be apparent to you today, unlike anything you've ever signed up before. I promise you a money-back guarantee. No pun intended there. If it is not, but it's great to see some of the familiar faces here. I want to also say that if you are new to us and you have not gone through the process yet with the 18-minute affirmation video, that is your 1%. That is the 1% of your day. That is the rule of 100. That is how you get more prepared, more alert, more aware than 95% of the people on the planet. When you go through those affirmations, and we'll do this in just a few minutes, it will take you to a higher level. When you say, "I am a magnet for miracles," it is such an unbelievable thing to wake up the other morning, come to my desk after I did my morning routines, and the first message to me on Messenger was from Australia saying, "Dan, I can't believe how much I am loving this affirmation video." So I want to thank you all for your notes, your messages, your comments, your feedback, but I want to start this day off with everybody just putting your phones down, your pens down for a minute. I want to be able to invite you to go to the highest level of what we would call I am present. I want you to say, what are the breadcrumbs here for me? What can I learn right now? I'm going to play a 3-minute and 20-second video. I have no idea who this person is. All I know is that in my journey of going down this path, incredible things continue to come my way. I think that you will be utilizing this 3-minute and 20-second video in your family gatherings. You'll be using it in your business settings. I believe you're going to be using it and rewatching it in your own life. And so I think, Jack, if we have everybody here, we're ready to roll. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody. And let's play the video, The Rice Experiment, and enjoy 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
So let me tell you about an interesting experiment that our family conducted. Last April, a friend of mine told me about this really intriguing and slightly weird, well, okay, it's really weird, experiment, and I couldn't wait to try it. She told us to boil white rice, but instead of eating it for dinner, she told us to put it into glass canning jars. So we filled the jars with this cooked rice about halfway full. And then after tightly twisting on the lids, we labeled the jars in permanent marker. One we labeled love, and the other one we labeled hate. And we put the jars in 2 different rooms. And every day we would talk to the jars as they were labeled. We would go into the love jar and we would say things like, "You are the prettiest white rice. We love you. We are so happy you came to our house." And then, using our meanie head voices, we would say to the hate jar, "You are ugly. We wish you didn't live here. You're going to turn brown." Well, admittedly, it was a little weird to talk to rice. But after just 6 days, the hate rice started to develop black, yucky, moldy spots on the bottom, while the love jar was as white and fluffy as the day that we started. Amazed by what was happening, we continued being rice whisperers. And after 2 months of talking to the rice, the love jar was just as white and fluffy as the first day, but the hate jar had become a soupy, disgusting mini swamp. You couldn't even make out one of the grains of rice. Words did that. Not heat, not cold, not stirring, shaking, turning, mixing. Words. Unkind words. It was like a crazy science experiment. And it can actually be explained scientifically. The rapid oscillation of the larynx when not experiencing dysphonia carries through the amorphous and optically transparent jar into the dihydrogen monoxide in the arysa sativa. Duh. Or in other words, the vibrations of our voice carried through the glass jar into the water in the rice, and the rice responded. But it was a real eye-opener to our family, from the 7-year-old to the 42-year-old, that words matter. An unkind word can linger in the mind, replayed over and over. Fortunately, so can a word of praise and a word of encouragement. Elder Holland said, "Words are sacred and must be spoken with care and by constraint of the Spirit." Words matter.
Okay, so Dan McCormick watches this, and I go, wow. I went in, I said, honey, I said, Marilyn, I said, you have to come and watch this. My wife, I said, you've got to come and watch this. I need 3 minutes and 20 seconds of your time, of your undivided attention. And my wife is sitting there going, we have to play that for the grandkids today. And so the grandkids were coming over later in the day, and the grandkids, as you know, what do they like to do? They like to eat, they like to run around, and they like to play games. They like to watch cartoons. They like to go out in the backyard. They're always going crazy when they're at our house. So how am I going to get my grandkids? I had 7 of them from the ages of 3 to 12, 3 to 11. And I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I want you guys for 3 minutes and 20 seconds to be all in. And if you're all in, if you'll watch this, and if the first person that catches any food group that I mention, that is mentioned, you're going to get a special bonus prize. And then if you hear another food group, you're going to get another bonus prize. And I got them all listening. Even my 4-year-old, who's like never going to play along with anything. And as soon as she said rice, one of the kids said rice. And then she came back and said white rice. And the 4-year-old looked at me and he said white rice. And I had them all playing along on the value of words. And so that night, we had a chicken rice dinner. Now, I must tell you that I started the experiment in my home. This is what happened. I'm going to be totally honest, 1,000% honest with the entire process. My wife put the white rice in this jar and put love. And I talk about the love, and yeah, I'm a little bit of the rice whisperer. I'm going to play along. I'm going to go and do the rice experiment. And I'm talking about how white and how pure and how lovely and every day. And then I had another one that I left at the other end of the house that was entitled hate. And I'm very, very tough on hate. I don't know how to say hate. I'm not one that knows how to just yell and scream and be mad at something. So you can see there's not a whole lot of difference. It's 3 weeks today. Not a whole lot of difference. Not a lot of mold, okay? On the hate, maybe it's just a touch browner. But there's a third jar that wasn't on the screen. And I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about any aspect of your life that you have ignored. Is it your fitness? Is it your faith? Is it your friendships? Is it your relationships? Is it your diet? Is it anything? Is it all in? Is it being all in? There's a lot of people that have done the rice experiment. There is an incredible story that we don't have time for. I want to show you the jar called Ignore. This was left in a dark corner of my house. This is the Ignore jar. You can see it is nasty. I want you to know that if you ignore the words that you use, this is the kind of thing that can happen. I became so hyper aware of this because I literally did this. I want everyone to raise their floor, have the best May of their year, have the best month of the year, outproduce everybody else in your teams, your organizations, if you're in real estate, if you're insurance, if you're a leader of company people. This week was an incredible reality and proof of concept for me. It continued to show me that when I have the opportunity to share this message of awakening who I am, when I awaken who others are, I get a chance to trust what true principles are. And just like the cover of the webpage that says, what follows I am follows you. And then you think about there's another part of the book that talks about this incredible word. If you've read the first chapter of the book, you may have picked up on this, but Ken Shelton and I know a gentleman by the name of, Kim Cameron from the University of Michigan. Kim Cameron is known as a positive psychologist. He is a remarkable individual, and he teaches the principle of heliotropic. Heliotropic is the natural tendency for all living organisms to shift towards the light. When you're heliotropic, when you're doing the right things, when you're showing the love and compassion for yourself, and you're avoiding the hate, and you certainly are remembering what you're not going to ignore. You are not going to ignore that. That's why you're going to spend 18 minutes a day, 1% of your day, to put yourself in a higher key, to put the mind and the body rested in the state to where you can be this natural tendency to attract the light. She even said it in the video, didn't she? That there's a vibration of the voice that speaks the love that helps you become the law of attraction. That's why in the video, we say, I am a magnet for miracles. So I'm going to just put one more slide up on the screen, and then I'm going to let a few of you share. So if we can go to that next slide, Jack. And I had a chance to speak to a group of very interesting people this week, insurance agents. I had a chance to speak in the group where people from every walk of life. I see a Delta employee. I see a 92-year-old man who's been on the $1 million roundtable at Mass Mutual for 60 years. And this man stood up at the end of me going through the message of awakening who I am, talking about I am a creator. If you're new to us today, you're going to learn that the 7 key affirmations in the book start off with I am a creator. I give examples of that. I'm going to be very, very brief here today. But my wife is a creator of memories. She always is looking at how do I create memories for the kids? How do I create memories for the grandkids? How do you create memories for your life, your business? How intentional are you? You want to live with intention? You'll start off with that 1% a day. You'll program the mind. You'll be ready to start at a higher key. You're going to raise your floor. Like you're going to go all in on raising your floor to be better than you've ever been, more intentional than you've ever been. And I invited you as we began today to be more present and look for the breadcrumbs. Is there one idea here today that can raise the floor and literally allow yourself to strip away the distractions? I know some of you have distractions in your life. Some of you have a hard time, like me, I'm talking to me here, putting down the phone and ignoring the text messages, the messages on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, TikTok, the whole world of messaging and social media. Sometimes you're worthy. I am worthy of being all in on you. Worthy is a very fascinating thing. I can't remember, Jack, did we prepare the slide to show them the arch of the worthiness today? Just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I can't remember if we did that on the screen.
No, I don't have it on there. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So let me just give you one example of worthy. When my friend Kevin Hall years ago wrote the book Aspire, he wrote about a secret word. And inside that secret word is called Genshai that he discovered while he was in Austria. Long story, you can read it in the book. But the word is Genshai. Means never to treat another person small. When that happens, you would never treat yourself small. Think about the power of knowing you're worthy, living your highest, most worthy self that you ever have aspired to. Never, ever again let someone say something like a man sitting next to me at our AA meeting several times this year who dealt with some serious addictions. And he continued to say that the AA manual is like a book for dummies. It's so simple. If you'll just follow the program, it's a book for dummies. And one night after he'd said this a few times, we'd developed a very good friendship. And I just put my hand on his arm and I said, my friend, I said, could I invite you to raise the floor? Could I invite you to ponder and really pray? Does God really think you're a dummy? I don't think so. I think you can raise the floor and go where you've never been before. And the following week, when he came back and he did his share, he says, you know, last week, and there's not a lot of what they call crosstalk, last week, Dan offered an invitation to me. And I want to say that it made a lot of difference in my life. So what is that one thing that you might say to yourself, even in that quiet voice? I am a dummy. I am tired. I am sick. I am offended. I am whatever. I am blaming this person. I'm not going to forgive that person. Be the best you've ever been. Go to the place maybe you've never gone to say, I am worthy. And finally, I am capable, number 5. Know that you're worthy and capable, and you have all of the abilities to have the best month you've ever had. And that doesn't have to mean that you can add a comma to your commission check in 1 month. What that can mean is you can be a better listener, a better spouse, a better parent, a better friend, a better neighbor right now. You're capable of doing that right now. You're capable of applying that 1% right now. And number 6, I am compassionate. Many of you that have followed me on this journey know that our 14th grandchild was born and his name was given Jude. And as soon as I heard my daughter give him the name, my mind clicked over to the New Testament, Jude 1:22, that says, some have compassion, making a difference. And I said, Mackenzie, Jude has a mission. His mission in life is to make a difference, have compassion. And you got to start with yourself. Put that oxygen mask on you. Have compassion for you, as the affirmation video does. And then have compassion for others on your path. Number 7, I shared with the group the other night, of course, is in the book, Awakening Who I Am. And that is, I am a finisher. It has been such an incredible, profound thing for my business partner, my friend, my investment partner. Our families took tours of Israel together. We traveled the world together. And I was on his preferred form of travel with him on many occasions. And that is when he was flying his private jet. And my friend Nathan Ricks gave a very famous message called Be a Finisher. And so I thought that was number 7. In the New Testament, when it says, I am the author and the finisher, it just seemed to fit. You create with me. When you see the book, we're going to invite you on the front cover. When you open the book, there'll be a co-creator code, and you'll be able to write your name as co-authors, co-creators with Ken Shelton and myself. It's just inviting you to take this journey, to raise the floor, to go where you've never been, to make this the best month, the best project, whatever it is you're doing. When you get on that bike today, when you go for that walk today, when you do that yoga class today, when you become that friend today, you are a finisher. As I finished this message the other night and I asked people around the audience, this gentleman came up and I said, what was your top takeaway tonight? And the person said, I'm not a good finisher. I haven't been a good finisher. I am now a finisher. Look at what we've accomplished in just a few months, Jack and I, being able to put our website together, being able to put a masterclass together, to be able to have our book right now, raising the bar. We're raising the bar to the book. It's not out yet because we're raising the bar. And we had so much more incredible content that has to get in the book. And then we have other things to help and assist you along the way. But before we go any further, maybe we can just open it up. I want to see or talk to anybody that has a share. Last month, we had a couple people share. We've only got about 10 minutes left. We had a few people share some rather remarkable things as they turned on that 18 minutes, as they begin to marinate in that 18 minutes, as they begin to find a way to quiet the mind. I use the saying that it used to feel like 90 minutes. And now it feels like 3 minutes. Somebody the other day was here at my house saying, well, I do it every day. I don't know if it feels like 3 minutes, but the fact of the matter is, you get my point. It is like food. The MC the other night introduced me as the speaker, and he says, if you get to know Dan, you're going to know Dan is the kind of guy that eats what he is cooking. And if you want to know, yes, I eat what I'm cooking. I have done this and I have believed in this. I have become the book, as James Clear says when he quoted Naval Ravikant, that in order to write a good book, you have to become the book. In order for you to be the best leader in your team, your company, your family, your house, you've got to eat your own cooking. You've got to be willing to spend that 1%. So Jack, who have we got? Let's see if I don't see everybody in the audience here, but let's see who have we got that wants to share what? Put your hand up, maybe. Hit the raise your hand button, and let's see if we can't go to whoever would like to share about what they're noticed. This is the May Miracles Masterclass. What are you seeing in your life? Miracles, please share.
Kenny,
A lot more
Brady,
people this month than
fearless.
last month, I know, but don't be bashful.
Dan, Kenny Brady
Kenny!
here. Hey, how you doing? I want to share something that I've responded to, or that I've received every time that I have done the 18 minutes. At the very end, it says download any inspiration, and I can tell you, I've always received something every single time. Every single time I've received an inspiration, and by acting on it, it was perfect in the moment.
I love it.
And I think that in itself magnified what I needed in that moment by just putting myself into the right mindset, heart set, and in line with who I am. And that has made all the difference every single time. And I'm saying every single time there will be something to download.
I love
by
that.
taking that time.
That is a great insight. That is a personal insight for you. That is personal to you. And that's why the book will offer a co-creation piece, because you just pulled some of our listeners today to a place maybe they haven't been, including myself. And Kenny is in the book. You guys are going to read about Kenny's story. You're going to know this guy as the stop sign affirmation guy for the rest of your life once you read this book. Go out there and make it a great day, Kenny. I can't wait to be with you. I may need to drive up and show you something today, but let's see who's next. Who's got their hand up? Don't be bashful. This is great. That's a great share. Jason Harris, please.
So I've been doing this since you introduced it to me. When you were starting it, and it was interesting. Two or three mornings ago, we've had some really aggressive goals for this month for the business and different things we've been thinking about and visualizing as we're going through it. And up till this week, for whatever reason, I never noticed in the middle, as they're going through some stuff, the layer of it is happening. And then really layering that, like, yes, what I'm intending to happen, create, go through every day with myself, with the team, with everything, it is happening. And then layering that on top of really visualizing that end goal for the month, and the intention of where that's going to snowball into the next couple months and some of the bigger goals that we have set through the end of August. It was crazy, man, because I don't ever remember hearing that and I've been doing it since you sent it to me forever ago. But it just hit so hard, and it was just it was a compound layering effect of the feeling of it really have like it is being created, like it's in the motion of it, like almost seeing that snowball rolling. And it was just, I don't know, it was one of those crazy, like you get out like, how come I haven't heard this for the last 6 weeks? Like
Yeah.
where was it? So it was just really cool.
I'm glad you shared that. I think it was one of my daughters that came up to me and can't remember what the scenario or situation was, but she said, it's all happening. So I'm so glad. That's a brilliant share. What a great personal revelation for your own life to have faith in that. Somebody had a question that said, how do I raise my hand? I totally get that because my software on my laptop doesn't allow me to raise my hand. I have to be on my iPad to do that. So whoever had their hand up next, let's do it.
Well, Dan, that was me that made that comment. It's Jim Trainer.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, so I think the world of you, and so I started doing the 18 minutes, and I'm telling this little story maybe for somebody else on this call that might be a little bit where I am, because I've listened to it, and for someone with ADD, it's very hard for me in my mind not to take off on other things. And I've got to tell you, the first few times I listened to it, I love the calmness of it and everything. I'm laying on my back on the floor, and my mind takes off. And then I got to where a little few more minutes in, my mind would take off again, And it was the other day I was in Dallas, and one morning, and I don't know why, but I was able to truly calm myself. And so what I want to suggest is I'm not there yet, but this is not something to expect that, oh, let me lay down and listen to this and my life will change. This, I think, takes for some of us a lot more working on our ability to calm ourselves and to truly get down into that space. And so I want you to know I'm working on it.
I love it. That's a great share. And that was the process with me. 90 minutes, it felt like. It was hard to calm and quiet the mind. And I think you were saying that directly to me because I needed that. I need to know if I ever veer off course, right? I can always bring my mind back to, I love the voice. And I didn't want my voice on the video when I wrote the script because I didn't think that would be the best soothing voice because I get a little too amped up, but that is absolutely a great share. Thank you so very much. Do I see a hand from Mai?
Yes, Dan. This is May. I apologize. I missed planning my time. Just got out of shower, so
You're
won't
great.
be able to plan
Welcome. Thank you, May.
Thank you so much. It's whatever my life journey have you in my life, it's just like a little by little, everything's changing. I start following this thing. Let me tell you, when I do resonate you saying that, like a 1 hour becoming a 3 minutes. There are times if I can totally quiet my mind, I mean, still I'm working on, right? The gentleman said before me, it just feel like a time goes so fast. It's only a few minutes. And it just like, I put it in the chat a little bit too. So somehow in whatever things that I downloaded, I think, and because of family situation and everything else in my personal life, I realize I become bitter. So I've intentionally told my husband, this is like, I quit complaining. And myself just become so calm and peaceful. I think this is such a miracle for me. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you. It's the May Miracle Masterclass. Let's see if we can do one more. David?
Hey, Dan. For me, what this did, it kind of brought together the 3 books that you originally introduced me to 30 years ago. Wow. Back in 1993, right? Think and Grow Rich. It was kind of the first time I was exposed to that book. Thoughts are things, what we think about, we will manifest into reality. And the second one, of course, As a Man Thinketh, which was a deep meditation on thought and all of the aspects of how thought or which, come out in words, help us create our lives. And then the third one was the Og Mandino Greatest Secret in the World, which was anchoring new behaviors, new habits, new ways of thinking. And so this is kind of like your manifestation of decades of work in that area, in this whole affirmation process, encapsulated into 18 minutes. And so for me, the last decade, I haven't been quite as focused on it, and that had so much to do with my success on the way up. And so again, it's getting me out of the malaise of being in a plateau, for the success I've had. So that's how this is starting to manifest for me, since you introduced it.
Beautiful. I love it. And everybody's going to come from a different place, a different time, a different space, a different May miracles that are going to be there for you. Everyone will be different. I had not clicked on the comments here today. And if you have not clicked on the comments, some beautiful shares over there on that side. Let's go ahead and wrap up. I know, Shar, let's be brief if we can, Shar. We got one more slide to get to. I want to be respectful of people's time, but Shar, chime in from Vancouver, Canada.
Good morning. Dan, I just, the visualization, like where it says like to visualize what your day is going to be. And that has really made a major difference for me, because I haven't spent that proper time. I visualize things like way out in the future, but actually like, how is your day going to plan out, and how is it going to play out, and who are the people that you're going to touch? And that's been a major difference, game changer for me.
I could
to be able to spend that little bit of time.
I could just keep listening. You guys, I just love it. I love the text. I love the messages. I love everything about it. And I really appreciate it. There's so much depth here that the investment of 1% of your day, just consider that Og Mandino said at the beginning of The Greatest Salesman in the World, he gives you 75 to 1 odds that you'll utilize that system to double and triple your income in a year. And when I opened my presentation the other night, I used that picture, that quote, that book to put everybody at ease and say, the odds are stacked against us, but as a team, you can feel everybody getting it. If you're not there yet, it's okay. Give yourself time, permission, and space to marinate and let it happen. Let the awareness happen for you. So Jack, I think we just have a couple of slides in closing, really important for everybody here that wants to continue to be on the journey with us with some dates, times, places, and things of that nature. But it has been a blast to be with you. I don't know if I can go through this briefly, but this hit me, and I called Jack the minute it hit me. I went to my journal. I've called several of you. I've talked to you about this. We developed this sensory stacking, and we want to be able to put all of the senses in a position to where you can stack. We want all of the, I remember my first mentor in Herbalife when I was 19 and 20 years old, and he talked about odds. Everything comes down to odds. I want all the odds in your favor. If you have something that is just so absolutely outrageous and exciting for you in your life, let's make sure we stack all the senses. And so auto-suggestion from Napoleon Hill, let's think it first. And once we think it, then we go and say it. And when we say it, sometimes there's some data that says you need to say it 70 times. I have one friend that badly needed a coach, a high-level individual, extraordinary levels of success in life, had a terrible tragedy happen, hired a coach, and his coach said, I want you to yell your affirmations. When you're on your 6-mile run, I want you to yell them 70 times. Number 3 is to write it. We want to slow down, just like the 18 minutes. We want to write. My pen doesn't work very well, but I write. I don't like the look of the penmanship that I write, but I write because it slows down and it begins to stack all of the senses. And number 4 is, you guys are going to just love this. You need to feel it. And we're going to create a suite of tools inside of these sensory stacking 7 levels of affirmations that help you feel. And I know that you can feel it. It's a powerful thing to feel. When tragedy strikes, it's an important thing to feel. When Relationships break up. It's an important thing to feel. Know that you are loved. Know that you are good enough. Number 5 is taste. And there's a beautiful scripture in the book of Psalms that says, "Oh, taste." And I want you to think about tasting what it is you're doing. I like to say the levels of affirmations can take you from healing to abundance. Can it be in 7 days? Yes. Can it be in 1 day? Yes. People have called and said, a magnet for miracles are showing up today on my first day. But could it be 7? Could it be 7 months? Could it be 2 or 3 years, like my daughter Crystal, who's featured in the book, that dealt with a disease and went all in on the sensory stacking? And when I asked her this, I said, "Crystal, when you were healing, could you taste it?" And she stopped me and paused, and she's like, "Dad, what do you mean?" And I said, "I watched you make celery juice first thing every morning." And she said, "Ah, yes, I could taste healing." Number 6 was so powerful for me because I thought, could you smell? Could you stack the sense of smell? Could you have this multi-sensory approach and begin to smell success, healing, all of these things coming together? And when you smell, I asked Roz Hobbs, who I believe is on with us here today. I'm not seeing all the people, but I believe her comment was, as I said, was it essential oils when you were healing? Was it candles? It was fresh air. I craved fresh air. So yes, sensory stacking for whatever it is you want. Give yourself time and space to go from healing to abundance. And number 7, we asked you today to share. How did you feel when you started? Think about the type of business you're in. Think about the 8th habit that Stephen Covey wrote. What was the 8th habit? Stephen said, for years, people would come up to him and say, "What's the next thing? What's after the 7 habits? What's the 12th step in AA?" Some of you know that. Maybe you become a sponsor. You share. You share it because when you find your voice, Covey says, it's incumbent upon you and I to share it. And so I just fell in love with this as I re-interviewed the people in the book that have gone from healing to abundance. And sometimes that abundance is in great levels of abundance. Abundance like Napoleon Hill speaks about. When the money comes, it starts to come so fast that you may ask the question, where has it been hiding during all of these lean years? When the healing starts happening, where has it been hiding during all of the work? My daughter started to break down. She had tears. She had emotions. I said, "What's bringing on the emotion, Chris?" when I was re-interviewing her. And she said, "I realized how hard it was." I was on the phone this week with a high achiever, somebody that has reached the level of income in this industry few people will ever even think that they can. This individual had an idea, and after he shared the idea, the person said, "But I just don't want to work that hard anymore." And I had to step back and say, everyone else is going to outwork you then. The law of attraction and I am a magnet for miracles isn't necessarily about working hard. It's about working with intention and knowing exactly what you want. And so I hope this makes sense to you, starting with the rice experiment today, starting with that heliotropic word, taking you through these 7 levels of stacking right here. And then finally, our next slide will conclude with this. And that is, you can now pre-order the book. We don't have an estimated date yet, but I think it's going to be late summer. You can pre-order the coin. The coin is the feel. We want you to be able to have that I am coin. We want you to be able to feel, I purchased a set of coins. I know that I have a coin with me at all times. I like feeling a coin. I like it being in my pocket. I like it being on my desk. I like being able to say, I am a magnet for miracles. And when you go to an AA meeting, as I've learned, because I started going with a friend of mine here in the community, that is now worth millions of dollars. And yet 11 years ago, this individual was on a $500 a day addiction habit with opioids. Every drugstore in Orange County had his name at the counter. Do not sell drugs or anything to Xander Clark, who's in my book, who tells you that story, who's an open book, and he can't wait to be on to share with you. We're going to create this coin. It'll say, I am a magnet for miracles, and what follows I am follows you. And maybe the 7 affirmations will figure out how all the design work. I think we submitted the vector file already. I just hope that you can download this QR code right now, or you can go to the website and you can purchase the book in softcover or hardcover, and you can purchase the coin. And we hope to have that very, very soon. You know, these printing presses and mints, they don't work at fast speed like all of us want. They don't do an 18-minute affirmation video and voila, it's right there. So yes, go to affirmiam.com. You can do that as well. So one last thing in closing, you guys are unbelievable, and I hope we've given you the value of free, because when you go through everything you go through here today, you change my life. You add to the story, you add to my value. I hope Ubuntu, which is written about in the book. Ubuntu, I am because of you, and you are because of me. That African proverb is basically saying it takes a village. It takes all of us to share, learn, love, be together to make May miracles happen. Raise your floor. Let's go back to the opening quote. The mind once stretched by a new idea never returns to its original dimensions. Now that you have seen the difference on what words, hate, love, hate, and ignore can mean, you're not allowed to go back. You've raised your floor. You're going where you've never gone. You're going to be better than you've ever been in every area of your life. Whatever that I am is for you, make sure you write it. And don't limit yourself. This is, I am possible for anything to happen in your life. Our next slide, and last slide, I believe, is June 8th, Saturday morning will be our next masterclass. We're going to continue to share. We're going to continue to make content, create content, post content that can add to the value and help more people. That is what this mission is all about. It's about helping more people. And if we share that mission together and we raise our bar, more people will be with us on June 8th at 7 a.m. And we probably are going to have to buy a larger Zoom link, Jack, to get more people on. But this is going to ignite your summer transformation. Our goal is to continue to stack these wins and be together with you. And I certainly hope and pray that all of you found value to hear today in these 42 minutes. I said 30 to David at the pre-conference. I apologize. Everybody, go out there and remember, write it. This is the May Miracles Masterclass. Make it happen for you. God bless. Look forward to sharing the journey. If you get a chance to go to YouTube, share a review, or add your comments to what the video is today, we would so love that. We only have a couple up right now. A couple of more YouTube comments and reviews would be fantastic. And I know when you go to affirmiam.com, you can get any other details. I am going all in on doing everything I can to raise the floor for every person, family, company in the world. And I hope to share that journey with you. God bless. Have a beautiful day, and bye for now.